Oh hi, thanks for watching my video. So on occasion I like to make little videos that are focused on one particular sim or a family in the Sims franchise, and I thought today we would take a look at the Alto family. The Alto family may not be as well known as the Goth family or the Landgraabs, but that's mainly because they aren't featured in as many installments of the Sims games. They're first introduced in The Sims 3, but their name crops up quite a lot of times throughout that game. Our first nugget of information on the Altos comes from the base game town of Sunset Valley. The family members are married couple Nick and Vita Alto and their daughter Holly. The Altos are one of the wealthiest families in the neighbourhood, along with the Goths and the Landgraabs. You could probably tell that they're wealthy based on their appearance alone. Vita wears a glamorous fur coat and Nick wears a fancy suit. It's implied that the Altos have fairly recently acquired their wealth by the time they moved to Sunset Valley from the big city. They have a rivalry with the Landgraab family as a result of a business feud. Nick and Vita are actually enemies with Jeffrey and Nancy Landgraab. I mentioned in my video about Malcolm Landgraab that Nancy in The Sims 3 was very business focused and driven to increase the scope of the Landgraab wealth. Nick is at the same career level as Nancy and they're both trying to get ahead, so there's definitely some tension in the workplace. But the tension doesn't stop there. The Altos have plans to modernise the neighbourhood and overwrite the traditional aesthetic that has been maintained and encouraged by the Landgraab and Goth family who founded the town. The Altos' move to Sunset Valley caused quite a rift in the neighbourhood, not only because of the rivalry between them and the Landgraabs, but because their idea for the town's future is so far away from the traditional way it was in The Sims 3. And that divided the Sims living there, forcing them to pick sides between the Goth and the Landgraab plans and the Altos' more modern plans. It's hard not to see the Altos in a negative light. Not only does the neighbourhood story paint them that way, but if you actually play as them, you'll quickly notice that at least Nick and Vita fit well into the role of being the town villains. According to their bio, they are ruthless and unafraid to plot the misfortune of those who stand in their way. Vita's traits are evil, charismatic, snob, schmoozer and ambitious. She's pretty well known as an evil sim. Despite this, and despite her plans for the town, she actually gets on really well with the Goth family and has great relationships with Gunther and Cornelia Goth. It's only the Landgraabs she and her husband have beef with. If you see Vita out and about, you might catch her laughing at the misfortune of others. She works in the political career and is incredibly charismatic and manipulative, stepping on anyone she can to climb up the ladder. And Nick's traits are workaholic, hydrophobic, family-oriented, mean-spirited and ambitious. His lifetime wish is to become the Emperor of Evil, and he's hungry for that next promotion at work, which would make him the CEO of the company. A role that he's in competition for, that competition being Nancy Landgraab, as I mentioned earlier. Funnily enough, the Alto mansion is located directly opposite the Landgraab mansion, and you can even see the contrast between how opposite they are. Despite the Landgraabs being incredibly wealthy, they don't have as much flashy stuff as the Altos. The Alto family are not afraid to flaunt their wealth. You can see the difference in how they furnish their homes and the types of cars they drive. So we've spoken a fair bit about Nick and Vita. Let's talk about their daughter Holly. Holly Alto is quite different from her parents. Her traits are good, vegetarian, artistic, and easily impressed. She doesn't have the same negative behaviour displayed by her parents, and she doesn't dress as lavishly as them either. Holly seems pretty well liked in the neighbourhood. She doesn't have any enemies. She doesn't even look like her parents at all. It's likely that she doesn't agree with their greedy ways, and she's barely acquaintances with them at the start of the game. The Sims 3 Late Night introduced the lively world of Bridgeport, founded by Ebenezer Alto, a believed distant relative of the Alto family. Given that Altos arrive in Sunset Valley from a lively city, it can be assumed that Bridgeport is where they lived before making their move to Sunset Valley. Another Alto relative is introduced with the add-on world of Hidden Springs. This is where we find out that Nick has a brother named Bert, who is living there with money from a mysterious source. Perhaps there's more of a mystery to this side of the family though, because Bert is hiding from someone. The person or people he's hiding from is never actually revealed, so it could be previous clients from a business deal gone wrong, or perhaps his own flesh and blood are after him. Maybe one day we'll find out. In the world of Lunar Lakes, you'll find even more Alto family members. There's Trenton Alto, who lives with his wife Eleanor and son Jareth. Trenton is a descendant from the wealthy Alto family, however his exact relation isn't specified. Eleanor and Trenton have a reasonably happy marriage, although the family bio states there is some tension between the couple, as Trenton doesn't seem to make much effort with her wealthy friends. According to the relationship panel, Trenton dislikes most of his wife's friends. The Altos in Lunar Lakes are wealthy in terms of property value, but they don't have much in the bank outside of that. They start the game with only 10,000 simoleons. In the world of sunlit tides, we meet Griffin Alto, a sim who went there on vacation and ended up taking over the family enterprise. He fell in love with a sim called Tanika Wahine and popped the question. Despite being an engaged couple in this world, Tanika's father is not a fan of Griffin at all and wants to do anything he can to get the couple to split. In the world of Isla Paradiso, we can see some more of the Alto clan. There's Lopita and Alfonso Alto with their daughter Ashley. Alfonso may seem like a family man, but he's not. He's actually having an affair with a sim called Florita Hernandez. He even managed to get her pregnant. What a scumbag. His wife Lopita seems none the wiser about the affair, but she isn't exactly that innocent either. She didn't really marry for the right reasons. It's believed that she only married Alfonso for his money, and her lifetime wish is to be a gold digger, so I guess she's not entirely the victim in all of this. And finally, there's their daughter Ashley. Ashley seems pretty oblivious to her parents' marital issues and has quite a good relationship with her father, suggesting she either doesn't know about his cheating or just doesn't care. And that's everything we know about the Alto family from The Sims 3 on PC. On the Nintendo DS version of The Sims 3, we actually see Holly Alto again, but this version of Holly is completely different from the PC version. She looks completely different and is married to a sim called Don Alto, and their life motto is rich, rich, rich. It is possible though that Holly Alto in this game isn't actually the same as the one in the PC version. The neighbourhood she appears in already has a grown-up Alexander Goth, the son of Mortimer Goth, who was just a child when Holly was already a teenager in Sunset Valley. So it's very possible that this Holly is just a descendant from the original one in Sunset Valley. Either that or we have yet another alternative timeline. Then we have The Sims 4. This part is going to be very, very short. So despite being mentioned multiple times in The Sims 3, there is no sign of the Alto family in The Sims 4. And unlike the original Landgraab family, they aren't even featured on the gallery by the Sims team. So perhaps we'll see them in the future, but perhaps not. There are versions of the Altos on the gallery by other creators, but none that are official. Although I will point out that even though the Alto family aren't on the gallery, there is a sim called Holly Alto which came with the Get Famous pack, but she doesn't look at all like the original and has none of the same traits, so she may not even be the same sim. And that is the story of the Alto family. It's a shame that we didn't get to see them much past The Sims 3. I'd like to see their return in the next Sims game. In fact, I'd love it if all the townies we know and love are brought back into the game at some point. I miss having family rivalries and having to play through various households to understand who's friends with who and find out where there's bad blood between Sims. We do have some elements of storytelling in The Sims 4 via the family bios, but it would be great to bring back some of the existing relationships from previous games into the future Sims installments. What do you think about the Alto family? Did you ever play as them in The Sims 3? I'd love to know what you think about these little history lessons I do, and let me know if there's a family or sim you'd like to see a video like this on. But that's it. Thanks for watching, I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like and subscribe, you know I love it when you do that, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.